Sorry about that. I don't know, my phone was locked in portrait and I didn't want to go in portrait. So, and now the people that were waiting have gone. So that's a bummer. So I'll wait and just see. Maybe Michelle will share it out on Facebook. Are you online, Michelle? I'll wait and see. Will you believe where we are? We are losing light, so this is going to be a very short. Hi, Nigel. Hey, Ruru. Were you in just on the other one, Sally? Ruru, Nigel, were you on the other live stream? Because I'm sorry I had to disconnect it. I don't know. My phone was locked in portrait. And hi, Amy. Michelle's getting ready for bed. You want to pop your head out the door and say hello, Michelle? The sound is very windy. No, there's wind out here, Michelle. Yes, look at that's the view. This is where we are. It's a little bit boggy. And that is the view. And there's a farmer going by. But I don't think he's going to... Gordon, I'm so sorry, man, that we missed you. I was saying to Michelle the other day, you know, we do these live streams and talk to people all the time, and sometimes I really miss talking with people myself, you know, and it would have been lovely to meet up with you, Gordon. Yeah, it's so hard when you're out on the road, you know. Sorry, I'm wrapped up warm, it is cold. When you're out, to know where you'll be or how long you're going to be in any one spot. Let me tell you a little of what's been happening. Maybe I'll try and get out of the wind. Oh, should I don't really want to mic up. Hi, Cheryl. Wet and cold. We have had 3 days, I think now, of really poor internet, where I've been in some very interesting places and wanted to share it with you, and I haven't been able to because of the no connection whatsoever. For example, a few nights ago we actually rocked up to a little chapel church. Yes, that was right, Sue. And paying to everything out of our bags. Just, I'll tell you what I'll do then. I will sit inside. There's the view. There is the view. It is beautiful. We've seen it already. Let me go inside. Get a bit of my power brick. Just bear with us a second. Oh, and I can't go fully in because I've got my dirty boots on. So, Susan, we are near. If anyone did want to meet up with us anywhere, but again, it would be hard to organise it really. We are. What's that town we've just been through, Michelle?
Thwaite.
Thwaite, Hawes, and okay, I'm going to try and get my boots off because I can't. Look at me. Look at my boots.
You can't come in my tent with those on.
She won't let me in with them on. Sue, tell you. Sally, come and have a word with Michelle. She won't let me in with these boots. Why not? I have no idea. Keep your boots out of my lovely tidy tent. Okay, I'm going to put you down a minute, ladies and jelly. Oh, hang on, rotate your device. Let's lean you up against the kitchen. Just a minute, I've got to get the walking poles in, because if I'm in now, the rain could come at any time. And if the rain comes, I can't go back out, based on the fact that I'm too lazy. Okay, is the sound okay there?
So Sue says that's better.
Thank you, Sue.
And Gordon says you guys need some nice weather. Well, that would be wonderful.
Gordon, we need some nice weather. As I was saying to Gordon, Michelle, you know, I was telling him how disappointed I was we couldn't meet with him.
He was.
Really disappointed.
He was getting quite frustrated, weren't you, with it?
You know, Gordon, I must tell you a little story, actually. Everybody, I'm telling you all this story. There's quite a lot of stories from the last few days. Most of them wet, damp and cold and blowy and miserable and on the verge of giving up, but always sort of battling on, you know. We're good Aussie battlers. My daughter said to me today, said, your Instagram posts are too miserable. And I said, look, we tell it as it is. We always have done, you know. We don't tend to rose tint the story. If it's wet and damp and blowy and cold and we think the Pennine Way is rubbish, we're not going to say otherwise. And what we've seen so far of the Pennine has been pretty appalling. Anyway, where was I going with the story? Will you excuse me while I take my trousers off? I've another pair on, so I am decent. What was the story, Michelle? I had a little thought then.
About you were talking about people meeting us. I don't know where you were going.
I don't know where I was going either.
No.
So the chapel, by the way, just jumping around, that's a story. I probably have to do a whole video on it, to be honest, because we rocked up to this church by chance. We just pulled up. Well, no, not by chance. We'd met a South African lad called Owens.
We knocked on his door.
We knocked on his door for water. He filled up all our water with what looked like iron brew.
It was water.
He told us the water in this area is all really dark and brown, but that's the way it is. So he filled up all our bottles with iron brew, and he told us to look out for a chapel, for a place to camp. Well, can you hear me all right?
He told us how far away it was.
He told me exactly how many kilometres, which he was wrong. Ewan, if you ever watch this, you were wrong. It was less. Well, your chapel was not so much. Can you open that back door and just do my trousers up there? Because I can't. I've got no space here.
Yeah.
Michelle's just going out the back door. She'll be back in a minute.
Well, you put your dirty trousers in here as well.
So we rocked up at what we thought was the chapel, and it was having it had finished its service, had a service once a month, and it was a tiny little church in the middle of nowhere, and the warden was taking the service, and he was tidying up afterwards, and he came out and had a chat with us, and we looked quite forlorn, I suppose, but we were sat on the bench in just outside the church, and he just was so kind. Richard Bell was his name.
It was.
Did the church have a bell? It did. Richard. So Richard said, well, you can put your tent up here in the church, in the yard. He said, there's plenty of black grass. Those white plastic bags, I've got to put my...
No, we'll do them in a minute.
We'll do them in a minute. Yeah. So Richard said, or you could camp just in the little porchway of the church. He said, you can't come in because for insurance reasons they're not allowed people inside the building. They have to lock it up. You know, they have all their gold and and what have you in there. So moments later, Richard's pulling an electric cable through the door, and he's bringing out a little electric heater. And I said, oh, is that on our behalf? And he said, yes. He said, I'll put a little heater in the porch and electricity if you want to charge anything up. Which was beautiful, wasn't it?
He just said, just turn the heater off.
Just turn the heating off when you leave. So we had this lovely warm night, but this was about 3 nights ago, maybe even 4. I know I posted it a day late, but
there was no internet.
There was no internet. We had no internet in the chapel. We had no internet in the church with a bell. That's what we're calling Richard's place. We had no internet in the shotgun station. We had no internet in the farmhouse garden. This is our friend's idea that we're going to give each campsite a name. We've had no internet last night, in which was just a crappy.
So bad we didn't.
Oh no, that was no. The next night was, and then we were next to a river yesterday.
Yes. raging
Are you
stream.
all enjoying this story? So Richard left us. So we had a little, just outside the tent here, we had a little blow heater. Heating, the tent was like gorgeous. It was warm and it dried it all out, dried everything out. And that was a lovely, really good experience. And let me just shut the door up a little, keep the wind out. It's nice and personal, doesn't it? You're now in my bedroom, kitchen, bathroom, lounge, porch. So we set off from there the next morning, all dry and refreshed and feeling very, very good, very smug. And then it hasn't stopped raining since. Basically, it's just rained and blown and rained. And we've got our new waterproof boots and things, but to be honest, you know, if you get water in these boots, which you do occasionally, they never dry out.
And they're damp at night, aren't they?
And they get damp at night. So when you put your socks on, they're all wet. And when I have my sandals, they were always pretty much dry. So I almost went back to my sandals today, although we stuck with it. We've stuck with them a little while longer.
So Thailand Phil says, yes, enjoying your story.
Thank you, Phil.
And Cheryl says, when you get home and revisit this, you're going to laugh at all your own experiences. We're already laughing.
We're already
Cheryl.
laughing, Cheryl, because if we didn't laugh, we would cry.
And Gordon says, non-stop rain here in Morpeth.
So, Gordon, that was the story. It's Gordon Morpeth. You've just reminded me. Thank you, Gordon. So, Gordon, tell me this. Gordon is a subscriber that follows us, and he was coming out the other day to see us. We wanted to meet up. But we were 50 miles from you, Gordon. It was a long way away. Gordon, funny story. We were walking towards Holtwhistle in the back roads. It was a bicycle route. I forget the number. On a set of roads, and a guy, tell me it wasn't you, Gordon. I thought for a day it was you. A guy started driving past us on a motorbike, and I heard the engine. I heard the sort of like, and I thought that sounds like a Norton, not a Norton. Sorry, a Royal Enfield that we'd seen in India recently. And I glanced around. There was a Royal Enfield. A guy on a Royal Enfield just drove past me, and I said, hey, good morning, good day, as I always do. Is that a Royal Enfield? Is it from India? And he just about heard me and stopped. And he came out, he stopped to have a chat, and we had a yarn for a little while. He never took his helmet off. And he said, I've driven up from Morpeth. And I said, you're not Gordon, are you? And he said, no. So, Gordon, don't tell me that was you. And I said to Michelle afterwards, maybe it was Gordon, and he didn't feel that he wanted to, you know, say hello or something, because at that time, Gordon, you were.
He said, I am the Stig.
Yeah, the Stig. You didn't take your helmet off. So
Sue says raining all over the UK.
Was it you, Gordon? Because I did think, what's the chances on the same day you were talking about a guy rocks up on a Royal Enfield from Morpeth?
And Gary in Cambridge says, can you hurry up and finish so that the nice weather can return? Cheeky. Gordon says, no, mate, it wasn't him.
All right.
And
so I thought I'd seen you in a way, and I thought you'd bottled out, Gordon, but you kind of. Anyway, we know the story. We've spoken to you since.
And Nigel Meeby says, if you can get hold of an old newspaper scrunched up in the boots at night, might work.
I know, and we've been looking for an old newspaper ever since. It was our first thoughts, but
yeah, you don't get newspapers very often. And Gordon said it would have been an Audi.
It would have been an Audi, would it?
Cheryl says, where are you now?
Sue says, I've lost so much weight.
You have.
I'm still fat, Sue. Trust me, don't you worry. When you need to cuddle me, Sue, I'm still quite chunky.
But he has lost weight, Sue.
I have lost weight, but nothing
drastic.
Nothing drastic.
You can still lose some more.
So I've really missed talking to you guys, and I don't know if there's a way. Maybe I was talking about this. It's nice to talk to people, and I haven't had the chance to talk to people for a little while. And apart from Michelle, of course, but you know.
Behave.
Gordon
said you would have seen me with my bald head, lol.
Well, I wouldn't have been able to tell. It was only, he only had a little sort of piece of this. It was like this. It was talking to someone like this, Gordon.
It was.
Like he was wearing a snorkel. Couldn't tell.
Nice lad.
Yes. So how nice to be able to chat to everybody. But I wouldn't mind hearing you guys. I don't know how we could do it. If you have any messages, maybe you could send them on Facebook or Instagram. But Kelly often does that. Kelly. One of the girls that's been following us for a long time. So anyway, if anyone wants to send a nice recorded message, Michelle and I can have a little listen to it. Maybe Instagram's the easiest way to do it. I don't know.
Sue says she's your soulmate. Imagine doing it alone. Thank you, Sue. You wouldn't be able to do it without me.
I'm always imagining doing it on my own, Sue. I often think to myself, God, I wish I was doing this on my own.
No, we need each other to spur each other on.
So,
Gordon said not on Facebook, he's just on YouTube.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to think of a way that you can, if you want to, send us an audible message so that we could.
Sue says, don't lie.
No, she would miss me, Sue. That's the truth of the matter.
Cheryl says, we tried to follow you on the map. You have trekked a long way already.
We have. When we looked at the map the other day, only because you can see on Google it always puts a little blue dot on you, and we reckon we're over half, close to halfway or at least.
It seems like we're getting somewhere now. It seemed forever, didn't it, in Scotland? As lovely as it was.
Scotland went on and on and on and on and on. And when we crossed over to Jedburgh, it was from Jedburgh into the Pennine Way. It seemed to be the only real time we were walking directly. I mean, Scotland was like this. It was like, I felt like a pinball machine or one of those, where you drop the little balls down and they bounce off of the pins. So Scotland was long, but we're on the Pennine Way. We're in what was it? Piddledown on in Teesdale. It's actually called Middletown, but
Middleton in Teesdale.
We call it Piddledown in Teesdale because it never stopped raining.
Snakes and ladders.
We really, I would like to hear from you guys. I'd like to hear some.
Gordon says could make a vid on my channel.
Yeah, and just send me a link. Little hello, anybody, anyway. Maybe we could make. See, I'm wary about doing WhatsApp with all you guys. I trust completely, but putting you out there on WhatsApp, it's sort of a little bit tricky, isn't it? Because it's a bit too much information, maybe. But there's always ways.
So Star says hello, nice to catch you again.
Yes.
And Cheryl says I've got a feeling England will be just as long, but we'll be getting closer to it.
Yes,
Cheryl.
but we are motoring down the Pennine Way. I think we'll have the Pennine Way wrapped up in 2 weeks. We've got probably another.
Yeah, the way we're doing it.
Why?
We're doing it well, aren't we? Pennine well.
Well, I think we're doing it quite well.
I think we're doing it very well.
I think you're being sarcastic.
No,
Don't be sarcastic.
I wasn't being sarcastic.
Pass those oranges here. Let me tell another sweet story.
Another sweet story.
Janet. Okay, so we're setting up our tent on this amazing view. But by the way, every amazing view comes with a heartbreaking climb. And we've been climbing and climbing and climbing for what seems like about 7 weeks now to get up here. It's drizzled and it's mistled and it's pissled and it's just generally soaked us whenever it could. We got up to the top and we're thinking, do we head down now to Hawes? No, Hawes. Or do we stop on the top? Because tomorrow morning we're going to have the most beautiful view. Well, a lady rocked up in the car and she started taking photographs, and I knew she wanted to take one of us. I could tell because we looked a bit unusual.
She was taking of the view.
And then we had a little chat, and she was very sweet. She took a photo of us, which she said she'd send to me. I told her how to get hold of us, and then she went back to her car and she bought us a bag of tangerines and a couple of Kit Kats and said, "Would you like these as a treat?" Isn't that sweet? So that's nice. So there are good things, but I do appreciate that I do seem to be quite negative on a lot of the walk, and that mainly is because quite a lot of the walk is quite hard, isn't it?
It is.
It's not it's nothing like we had imagined. It's almost none of it is hand in hand through meadows. Most of it is just a chore. Today,
Well, that's why DJ 123 says, "Are you okay, Steve? You look seriously fed up." It's the weather.
do I look fed up?
I don't think you look fed up today. You might have done yesterday, but today he's on a good one today.
We're fed up 90% of the time, to be honest.
But we laugh our way through it.
We stopped today in Britain's highest pub.
We did.
The highest pub in the whole of the United Kingdom. It's called Tan Hill Inn, and I went in there to have a beer, and which I shouldn't do in the daytime, but I fancied one. And Michelle had a Coke, and we had a very average bit of food there, but we won't talk about that. I wanted to live stream from there, but we couldn't get on the internet. So,
our internet didn't work, and theirs
was rubbish. So
yeah,
we couldn't live stream from there. That was a bit of a disappointment.
But Sue said, "I admire you too. I couldn't do it." And Gordon says, "Your goodies were lovely."
Gordon told me
teasing
later
us.
that he got me some goodies that he was going to bring. But there you go.
There you go.
Thank you, Sally.
Yes.
So what else? I mean, there's so much happened. We have had. Do I look seriously fed up?
Well, Gary reckon. Gary in Cambridge reckons you are. He's making your Christmas cake. Digging there, I'm revving up to make your Christmas cake again this year.
Good, mate.
Cool. We won't be making Christmas cakes, but hopefully we'll get a nice Christmas cake.
I'm not fed up. I'm tired. I've walked.
Yeah.
I've walked 15 miles or so today, and this last section here, it's like a heart rate. It was up, down, up, down, up.
It was meant to be all down.
But none of it was like, it wasn't just like a nice sine wave. It was more like a sort of shark's tooth. So we were walking up hills like this, and then you go down hills, and that really hurts your feet coming downhill. And then it go back uphill like this, and then it go downhill and uphill, and it was just like little country lanes just going up and down like this, and it really hurt. I mean, my ankles. This is the first time my ankles and knees were really quite painful.
We stopped for coffee in Thwaite, and it rained.
We sat in Thwaite, a little town called Thwaite, not far from here. We had coffee on a bench. All the little houses were surrounding us. Nobody came out and said hello. It peed it down with rain. We tried to make coffee on the park bench. Nobody looked out their window and said, you know, would you like any water or anything? No. One lady walked past us and didn't even exchange a comment. So, you know, you can get a bit fed up.
He says, "Not your usual chirpy self."
Oh, I'm always my usual chirpy self.
And Sue said, "No, I think you're just tired. What's for dinner?" Oranges. No, we had dinner on the park bench, didn't we? We had rice.
We try to eat before we set up for the night, because by the time we get here, we're pretty zonked and we're ready just to. You know, the sun goes down so quickly. That's the other problem. The days are so short that they're over before they begin. We have to get up at sort of 7 in the morning when the sun comes up and start getting. You know, it takes us an hour and a half to really get motivated to go. Have you got anything I can just break those? That's really.
I'll try. Gary says, "You guys are amazing, fantastic effort."
We are amazing, fantastic efforts.
We're having a tangerine.
I'm amazing. She's a fantastic effort.
And yeah, we'll have something snacky. We've got some snacky things in the bag.
Yeah, the next town has supplies.
Yep.
It is really interesting, this walk. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. It's hard. Oh, these are nice.
Tangerines.
Nice tangerines. I can tell by the smell. So I don't know. It's a hard walk, isn't it?
It is.
You know, a lot of people. We've met so many people walking the Pennine Way. When I say so many, probably 6.
Many is that?
We don't meet too many, but we meet many people on the Pennine Way, and they all say it's bloody miserable, it's wet, it's horrible, and they're right.
Yeah.
It's really
hard.
It's really uncared for. The northern section so far, all the way into northern Yorkshire, is uncared for. It's unmanicured. It's poorly maintained. You're in water, constantly in water.
No paths.
No pathways. There was a section, if you watched any of the hello.
Instagram stories.
If you watch any of the Instagram stories, there was a section where we were up in the moors, and we were lucky. If we hadn't had the OS maps, you would have just got lost.
Yeah.
and you'd have been up there for months, because the paths were just like a rabbit had made them, and sometimes there were 3 or 4 and you had to pick out where you had to go. So without,
It was a bit eeny, meeny, miny, mo, wasn't it? Which one?
yeah, it was really tricky. Let me just taste this.
Is it good? Oh, the whole tent smells of oranges now.
Oh, I look like a big tangerine in this jacket. So so I hope you're all well. Michelle and I are fine. We've been a little bit, it's been a hard few days.
Yeah.
Was it Gary, was it?
Yeah.
Gary, it's been a hard few days. We woke up this morning damp. Everything was damp. It's not stopped mistling all day long. We've not been able to dry out. We went into the pub, which was quite average, to be honest. Lovely girl there that we spoke with. They had a fire, but the fire was sort of barely on, so it didn't dry any of our stuff. And then you know, with the channel, we tell it as it is. I've always said to Michelle, I would rather tell people what to expect and be realistic about it than make a sort of very sort of drone shot, soft viewed sort of, you see the air, it's getting cold, view of what things are like. So, you know, the amount of times Michelle and I have been to places around the world and watched YouTube videos and got there and been disappointed. So I've always been a bit honest about things. And if that means moaning a lot, then so be it. It's a hard walk. So far, almost none of it has been magical. It's just the way it is. It's been hard, and we just keep soldiering on.
So Gordon says, keep pushing on, guys. You are brilliant. Don't think I could do it. Well done up to now. And TJ Smith says, methinks the Appalachian Trail would.
Do you know, methinks that the Appalachian Trail would be quite hard as well. Methinks I'd like to walk somewhere quite nice and warm and tropical.
And also as well, it's a long time. I mean,
Michelle keeps saying this. She said this walk is a long walk.
It's a long walk.
She says it's a bit too long.
Yeah.
You know, weeks is an unusually long walk. Months is a ridiculously long walk.
I think by now it should be ending.
Michelle kind of keeps hoping that it would be. And we've got over a month and a half probably still to walk.
No, we're going to get super fast.
We are getting faster.
We are.
We are getting faster.
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, even like walking up that hill just now, it was a big hill. And when you look back, it was amazing how far we'd come.
At the beginning of the video, if you go back, if you can just about point out some really low, but we were down there.
Yeah.
If you can see anything really down below, you probably can't even see as low down as we were. And we walked up that hill.
And we didn't really stop, did we?
Without any stops.
Nope.
And it's taken us a good 45 minutes or so to get up, and the next section is, we think, is downhill. And then we've got probably 3 more days walking of the Pennine Way, and we'll probably be finished.
Yeah. Then we've got to work out which way we're going
Then
next.
we've got to work out where to go next and plan a few things. I would dearly like to do some canal style walking or riverside walking, just some nice flat,
We've done
relaxing.
a couple of nice railway ones, but they don't last very long, do
Yeah.
they?
No, I don't know what I did with those bags at all, because I'm worried that I left them outside. That's why I asked you if you could have a look for them. But
I will. Well, I
we're
can't
going to
now.
lose light here very shortly, so I think we're going to have to stop.
I think so.
I said to Michelle the other day I'd like to do more live streams, and since then we haven't had internet. We've had power, but we haven't had internet. So it wasn't for the want of streams and keep everybody up to date, and then we don't do one for 4 days. It's just, if you want to see dark here in Berkshire.
So Susan says really enjoying your live streams.
Yeah, and I wish I could do more.
I mean, you were all saying, you said, oh, we do one when we were in the church. No internet.
Yeah, the church was going to be a good one. No internet.
Yeah.
Will be.
And the little Instagram stories go, because you can film them.
See,
and
I can
then
do a little Instagram story and upload it, but it doesn't upload until we're walking the
and
next
suddenly
day.
it goes ping.
So it's 1,000-mile detox.
Favorite, whatever.
You'll have to walk out. there's over 150 short videos on there, so it's worth having a look at. So should we wrap up?
Because it's getting dark.
It's getting dark. It might not look like it, but this is going to go very quickly. We've probably got maximum 30 minutes left before we won't be able to see anything. So love to you all.
Wish us luck. Hope for no wind.
Yeah. Hope for let me just unplug that a moment. Come inside.
Come inside.
There's Michelle. So love to you all. We are good. I don't know, there were some other things I wanted to talk about. We'll do that next time.
Next time.
All right. Hello from London. Who's that? Is that Sean?
Yes.
Sean, I'm finishing, man. It's getting bye, man. We're hopefully won't be too damp in the morning. We'll see. With potentially the sun, not that we haven't seen the sun for several days,
the sun's disappeared.
could come up just opposite us.
Yes.
All right. So
do the sun dance. Make the sun come out for us.
Give us, if we could just have a week or even a few days of sunshine, what a difference it would make.
A week of no rain.
Yeah.
That would be cool. But anyway, never
mind.
All
right.
right.
Love you all.
Yeah.
Take care. Send
Good
us a
night,
message
everyone.
somehow. We'd love to hear from you. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.